Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Sports Jedi Network. I have a real good guest here with me. I am excited to have the one and only Steve Maclin who's joining me. Let me bring him in. Mr. Maclin, welcome to the Sports Jedi Network. Thank you.
No, thank you for having me. It's good to be on here.
Oh, man, let's get right into it.
Yeah.
With all the buzz that where TNA is going right now with Victory Road and now Bound for Glory, how's your feeling heading into just seeing the events that just happened and for Bound for Glory? How do you feel?
Well, obviously, I'm a little annoyed at Victory Road with Judas Messias coming out there and getting involved in my match with Frankie Kazarian and causing a distraction for the referee to not see me getting low blowed on the rope from Frankie and him getting the win on me and taking the title that is mine. So now it's just the goal is to get back to getting back my title at Bound for Glory, and that's against Frankie Kazarian.
So I'm a guess that you're going to invoke your rematch clause.
Oh, I already have. Yes, that's been loud and clear. And if you haven't heard it yet, it's going to be myself versus the TNA International Champion Frankie Kazarian, Lowell, Massachusetts, October 12th at Bound for Glory.
All right. So now you're going to prepare yourself into this match. You've been with Kazarian. Now you're going to what's something different you're going to look into. If you're going to have maybe someone watching your back here, or because you're always attentive to details. I know I follow you. And what's the game plan? Oh, you don't want to give too much secrets.
I won't give me too many secrets, but I am bringing some backup with me up to Lowell, Mass. I
I
promise
love
you
it.
that. And then once
I
I get
love
that
it.
title back, I'm going down to AAA and I'm going to whoop on Judas Messias' ass.
Nice, nice. So someone has a receipt in their future.
Very much so.
I love it. Let me ask this question here. Seeing what TNA has done with all the different collaborations, I've seen, in AAA, NXT Invasion. I happened to be there on last Tuesday for the Invasion. You guys did a phenomenal job. Now the show coming up. How is it important for you to be picked or even possibly captain? Because Santino hasn't mentioned any. But how much of an honor would it be to represent the TNA brand against the NXT for Invasion?
To just be there and back in the performance center where all those failed athletes tend to train now. Felt really good to be back there and see a lot of familiar faces. And if I am involved with the invasion angle, so be it. If I'm not picked, it's okay. It's not going to hurt my feelings if I'm not. I get it. Santino has his favorites. TNA has their favorites at times. But for me, I stick to what my goal is, and that's getting back my TNA International Championship, and that's Bound for Glory.
I love that. I love to hear that. Trying to get that title back and continue to solidify yourself in the TNA history books. You have hold the TNA World Title, now your international title. What's some of your short-term goals coming up here in 2025, personally, and then maybe as a company?
I lost you there for a second. I didn't get the full question.
Oh, yes. One of your short-term goals here to remainder of 2025 into 2026 for you, Steve Maclin, besides getting your international title, but what's anything on the horizon?
Well, even with the invasion angle and still the working relationship with WWE and NXT, it's getting there and having my own story. I have a lot of history in NXT, whether it's an invasion or not. I feel my story is a lot bigger than this invasion angle. So for me to go back there in the history that I have with the TNA International Championship and defend it against maybe an Ethan Page if he's still the North American champion at that time, or hell, even a Ricky Starks who's the NXT champion, something there could be there.
I'm going to give you a little bit of a secret. This is the fanboy in me. I've been saying that on my podcast. I've been fantasy booking that you should be me personally. I'm saying that you should be the first TNA talent to get NXT gold, and it should be on the expense of the North American. What a history, because you have served this country with and done so much for us here, for our freedoms. And I said, man, what a storyline. You go capture that North American title. To me, it would be fantasy booking. I'm storybook, and I'm cheering for that. I hope that it's in the cards.
We'll hope we can see. That's like the best part about this whole working relationship. Anything can happen in pro wrestling right now, and it's one of the best times to be a professional wrestler and also to be a fan. I can't imagine what it's like being a fan now and having to just watch every single night, because I'm watching Monday through Friday. There's wrestling on every night, and it's hard to keep up with everything and everyone. But as a talent, I need to know what's going on elsewhere, and also keeping an eye on what's going on in NXT every week and on Raw and SmackDown.
I agree with that. Now let's talk about the locker room morale and you're a man of structure. What's the big difference in this regime and this turnaround, in your opinion, from where it was and where it's been and where it's going?
The locker room's always been the locker room. It takes care of itself. The boys take care of the boys. The girls take care of the girls. And TNA is one of the locker rooms that I've been a part of. I've never been a part of a bad locker room. It's just that TNA is just more of the most family oriented locker room that I've been a part of, where we're out there. We all have that type of chip on our shoulder where we're trying to just prove everybody wrong. And that's why TNA has been around for so long. And it's a never say die attitude. It just won't go away. It's a constant underdog. And that's how we always try to carry ourselves and also work that way as well once we are working together out there.
I see that. And I see the support of management. I love to see the All-Star Awards given by Carlos Silva. How much does that mean for morale, from seeing the support from upper level, not just the locker room, but the upper level management, the support that you're receiving?
The support is great, especially it just shows that everybody's getting to see when everybody's getting the award each loop on who's the star of that week. And for me, I love when it's the people behind the scenes, because so many people work so hard behind the scenes that you don't know about. And from Ingrid winning it, from Kevin Martin winning it recently, and Andrea, who was running our marketing team, she got it for Slammiversary time frame. And just those are the key people behind the scenes that work so hard just as we do in the ring, and they don't get enough credit because you don't know who they are. But here we are giving a platform for them to be on there on social media. You get to be introduced to these people and get to know who they are.
I love that, because you could see that it shows it just shows from, as a fan's perspective, the growth and the love that there is in TNA. That's for me. It attracts me to want to continue to support, just in all different areas for TNA. And that's, to me, I love that. I love seeing that. And you always get my support on there. Let me talk about this. How big is you guys securing a TV deal in a major streaming platform or wherever it is? How big of an impact, literally, no pun intended, would that be?
That's been the talk for a while now, and it's a when. It's not what if, but it's a when it does happen. And I'm looking forward to it because it brings more money into the company, more eyes on the company. It's better for talent. It's better for the wrestling fan base to watch. Just because if you're watching on the TNA Plus app or Access TV or Eurosport over in the UK or Sportsnet in Canada, I know we're shown every week on that live. So there's just different options to watch, but there's not that one channel you tune into where TNA is at, like back in the day when it was Spike TV. So now it's getting TNA Wrestling on that television network that we plan to be on, or that streaming network that's going to be there, and just having the audience just attracted to that all the time.
Yeah, I think that's going to make a big deal, because we're more eyeballs of the product, and to let the world know and amplify the great stuff that's happening in TNA, from storylines, from the in-ring, from everything. You guys are killing it. The resurgence, it's just something that, it's a renaissance. And when it comes to not just professional wrestling, but in TNA wrestling, and it's a good time to be a fan of Total Nonstop Action. It's just phenomenal. We're wrapping up here real quick here. Let me ask this question. I want to say this. I admire and appreciate what you do for Tunnel for Towers. Great job there. And also your podcast, bringing light to your story. I really enjoy that. Can you give us just a little bit about your reasoning and your journey with your story here on Boots to Boots? If you haven't checked that, please do subscribe to their channel.
So Boots to Boots podcast, it's everybody comes to a crossroads in their life. And we originally started off the idea from my combat boots to wrestling boots. And everybody comes to that crossroads. And how are you going to transition to a different career, a different part of your life? What's next? And that's the basis of it. So now we're talking to people. We've been introduced in the first 3 episodes. Episode 3 just dropped today. Episode 4 will be next week. But then we're going to get into our guests. And that comes from all walks of life. Everybody has that crossroads. Everybody has to change that pair of boots and have to make those tough decisions. And we're going to try to tell those stories because people don't talk about that in everyday life. I've had my transition from the military into the wrestling world, but then also into the civilian world as well. How do you transition? How do you navigate that? What are the goods? What are the bads? And it's good to talk about. And that's one thing everybody's never talked about, is talking about it. And it's just being vocal and having a voice. And if you listen to us, click subscribe, share. We're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts, and we're also on YouTube where you can watch us at all times.
Yeah, I've seen all three of the episodes. I'm hooked, like I mentioned to you before we went on the air. I am enjoying it, and I love the fact that you're sharing. Both from and I can't wait to find out how you guys met. The
Yeah,
story that
that's
you guys going to
episode. That'll be
share.
up. Yeah, episode 3 is more about my wife, Deanna Perrazzo, and then episode 4 is kind of how we met and how we navigate my military side and how she deals as a spouse, and then just us in the wrestling world. And then what's next? It's going to be our guests, and we're very much looking forward to the first few guests that we have lined up to get their stories out there. And just yeah, it's been fun. It was an experience for me to just try to sit and for her to just like, hey, there's an idea here that we can get this podcast going. I was all right, let's try it. So it's been working, and the fan base and people commenting and sharing and getting back to us of what the goods and the pros and cons of it is has been great. And we love the fans.
What I love it is you are professional wrestlers, but you are also human, just like us, put on our pants one leg at a time. And that's a good thing because sometimes as fans, we tend to forget about that. And sometimes might cross a boundary where, wait a minute, if we're seeing you out in an airport or out and about, respect the opportunity, the boundaries, because you are people. And I think that podcast, it doesn't say it directly, but for me, I interpret it. You are human. Let me give you your space. Let me back off because when we see you out and about, a quick hello, a wave, cordial, and I really appreciate that, guys. You're doing great work.
No, anytime if you ever see me in public, I do not mind if you come say hello. Please don't ever be shy. Even in the gym, like I love when people come say hello and they're just it's confidence, being human. Just we're all good people. I try to be a good person. And that's just it. Even my wife makes fun of it all the time. When we were doing the 5K yesterday with Tunnel to Towers, she's just like, people just talk to you. You're just mingling. I'm like, yeah, it's just like this person made eye contact, said hello, and then I just start a conversation. It's fun to get to know people and their story, and that's what we want to do with the podcast as well, is get to know people's stories and get their story out there.
Love it. I love it. And don't forget to please subscribe to it. And first thing, how does it feel getting our first win with Dart? A little bit off topic, but the Giants. Let's
So
go.
this is how awesome I will have a memory forever, because I was at Eli Manning's first game ever when he started. I was last seat of the stadium against the old Giant Stadium stone cement wall with my buddy Danny Lyons when he got his
I've
first
been
start.
there.
And here I was in New York, down in Wall Street, an Irish pub, and we just got done with the 5K. I'm surrounded by firefighters, NYPD supported in this bar, and Jackson Dart scores that first touchdown, and the place just erupted. And it's a memory I'll remember now, just because I'm a diehard Giants fan for my entire life. Growing up next to Giant Stadium, Rutherford, New Jersey, it was right in my backyard, so it meant a lot, and it's a memory I won't forget. And my D makes fun of me as well because I got my own nickname for Scattaboo, call him the Scat Man. He's my new favorite player, man. Cam Scattaboo is my guy.
Yeah, let's go. Hopefully they turn the season around there for the Big Blue. Steve, I'm not going to take much time. I know you're going to be busy. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. We're going to watch Bound for Glory. Tickets are still available, so get your tickets. Let's sell that out. Let's break records. By the way, I was at Slammiversary. I had a great time. The card was phenomenal. I flew from Orlando to New York to UBS, and I had a great time. And by the way, you were the catcher behind the plate. You did a phenomenal job at the charity softball game. I had a great time there. You guys do great things off the field, and that's why I always give 1,000% support to TNA. And again, thank you again for joining me, and I really appreciate your time. Guys, thank you so much. Don't forget TNA on Thursdays. We do the watch-alongs. We do the reviews on the Sports Jedi Network. We want to thank Steve Maclin in with us. And guys, thank you. I'm going to run the outro, and we're good to go.